Time to wake up. It's Saturday morning. Find some milk and cereal. Grab a bowl and spoon. No, a bigger spoon. Head to the living room and take a seat on the floor while Joseph and Chris present to you Saturday Morning Cartoon!
Hello everybody, welcome to Saturday Morning Cartoon Boom! This is show where we wake up the Saturday morning sun, popped out on the floor, big bowl of sugar cereal, and our favorite cartoons, both old and new. I'm Joseph.
And I'm Chris.
And this morning we watched Dexter's Labratory.
I know way more of this theme song than I should and than I thought I did, but I was able to recite like the whole thing the other day, and my girlfriend Rochelle just stared at me like, really?
I think that I know the whole ending theme song, which is what that part's from.
Lives the greatest boy you've ever seen, but Dee blows his experiments to smithereens.
Yeah, I think it says the smartest boy you've ever seen.
Say, yeah, you know.
So you already messed it up. And then
no,
it's like,
what?
There is doom and gloom when things go boom in Dexter's lab. Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, everyone. This was suggested to us by Christopher1295 on our subreddit. Thank you, Christopher. I like your name and I like your style, sir.
From the future, back to the past, back to the future.
Yes.
As we decided.
A whole lot going on there.
Yeah, you'll have to listen to the end of the last episode to really get that. So the show Dexter's Laboratory aired from 1996 to 2003, created by Genndy Tartakovsky. Well, it was created originally by him and developed for the first two seasons by him, and then the second two seasons that came a little bit later, they took a break in between, was done by Chris Savino from 2001 to 2003, produced by Cartoon Network Studios and Hanna-Barbera Cartoons, ran for a total of 4 seasons, 78 episodes, 221 total segments, because generally the episodes were 3 segments per episode. There were some exceptions to that, like one of the ones we watched today, ran on the Cartoon Network. For a short synopsis, also by Kenneth Chisholm, who did the synopsis for last week's episode also.
Kenneth, how did you sneak in here again?
Yeah, exactly. So Kenneth snuck in again. The misadventures of a boy genius and his annoying sister. I mean, they're just so short and sweet. I appreciate Kenneth's synopsis.
I like it. Synopsis? Short and sweet, just like my love life.
Okay. So who are some of the actors who played in this show?
So the voice of Dexter was provided by Christy Cavanaugh and also Candy Milo. Candy came in 2 years after Christy, but they're both listed as through 2003 when the show ended. So I'm guessing maybe there's a few dates where some of the cast wasn't available and they had people fill in. I don't know how that works. Don't ask me. I don't know. The voice of Dee is provided by Allison Moore and Kat Cressida. I'm guessing the same situation going on there. The voice of Mom was provided by Kath Soucy, which we talked about on our last episode. Dad was voiced by Jeff Bennett. The voice of Monkey and Infraggable Kronk, voiced by... Can you take a guess, Joseph?
Oh, I know.
Voiced by Frank Welker. It's an animal in the show, so... Of course it's Frank.
I mean, we always say that someone's voiced by Frank Welker, but in this case, we're not lying. It really is.
The voice of Major Glory, provided by Rob Paulson. The voice of Val Howland, provided by Tom Kenny. And the voice of Mandark, provided by Eddie Deazen. Eddie Deazen. Eddie Deazen. Let's go with that one.
Nice. Okay. So for a few tasty mushrooms out of our big bowl of Dexter cereal, the Dexter family's last name was never revealed.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, neither did I. And then I was like, after I read that, I was like, yeah, it was. And then I had nothing. So no, I don't think it was ever revealed.
Oh my God, you're right.
Genndy Tartakovsky's explained that that Dexter considers himself a very serious scientist, and all well-known scientists have accents, which is why Dexter has that accent, even though he's from an all-American family that have no accents at all.
Nice. So he's faking the accent because he feels like he needs it
to sound more official.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh man, I wish they would have explored that a little more, but I like that. That's a cool tidbit.
Mandark's real name is Susan. The reason is that his parents are hippies and gave him the name according to the name that the wind says.
Oh goodness.
Yeah. So, which is why he changed his name to Mandark.
Such a good name to change it to, I guess.
Given the popularity and widespread critical acclaim of Dexter's Lab, it helped launch the careers of several animators such as Craig McCracken from Powerpuff Girls, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, Seth MacFarlane from Family Guy and American Dad, Butch Hartman from Fairly Odd Parents, and Rob Renzetti from Powerpuff Girls and Samurai Jack. So that's amazing.
Good Lord. I had no idea that many people were connected to this. So they all basically got their starts from this show.
Tom Kenny, who is SpongeBob SquarePants, is in this show as well. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. He is Valhallen.
Yeah, he's Valhallen, and
I keep wanting to say Valhalen.
And he's one of the puppet pals.
Oh, of course, the puppet pals.
Yeah,
Nice.
Rob Paulson's other puppet pal. So it's them kind of going off of each other.
That makes a lot of sense. Oh my gosh, I bet this cast has so many awesome people in it. I bet they had so much fun making this show.
Oh man, yeah, I can't even imagine because they sounded like they were having fun just all the time. And there were a couple controversial episodes in the series, as there are with miniseries. In this one, it was the segment Dial M for Monkey Barbecuer from season 1 in 96 was removed from rotation after a few years of being broadcast in the United States for 2 reasons. First, the short features a character named the Silver Spooner, who is a spoof on the Silver Surfer, perceived by Cartoon Network as a stereotype of gay men.
Oh,
Second, Crunk appears to become drunk, has a hangover, and vomits off camera. So that was a no-no for cartoons, of course.
I don't think that one's that bad. I think the Silver Spooner, is this going to be a mostly nude, effeminate silver man that likes to spoon people?
I have no idea. Like,
Is that what they're going for?
I wish I could have found it, but after they aired it, I think once they had to take it off and replace that segment with something else. The second episode that was kind of controversial and really never got aired on TV because of it, during the initial run of Dexter's Lab, a segment titled Rude Removal from season 2 was produced.
Yeah.
The short involves Dexter creating a rude removal system to diminish Dee Dee and Dexter's rudeness. However, it instead creates highly rude clones of both of the siblings. And this episode was only shown during certain animation festivals and was never aired on Cartoon Network or any television channel due to the characters swearing, even though the swear words were censored. And I did watch this one because I was curious about it, and it's up on YouTube.
Man.
Like, Cartoon Network finally put it up on YouTube on the Adult Swim site. Yeah, they're all censored, but you know what they're saying because it'll be like it'll have like the F sound or the S sound to it. And
oh my gosh. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So
you Dexter's Lab getting a little bit of an R rating there. That's awesome.
So you can go and find that one online for free. Check it out. I would recommend doing so because it's really funny. It's actually a really good episode. It's just like, I see why it never got officially aired.
I love that idea. I want to, I'm going to watch that.
So Chris, did you watch this when you were younger? Do you remember this show much?
Oh, I totally watched this. So I'd be home during the summers and I'd be watching a lot of the Cartoon Network shows and just being lazy. So watching a lot of this and Cow and Chicken and Ed, and Eddie and Powerpuff and Johnny Bravo and all that good stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of the same with me. Like, I remember this is one that I used to get to watch with my dad a lot too, because he was a big fan of it. It ran on Cartoon Network for so long and then was syndicated afterwards, so there's no telling at what point I actually jumped into it. But I do remember really enjoying it, and I could have told you a lot about it even coming into it before we rewatched it. And then, like you said, that theme song, that end theme song, has been stuck in my head for my entire life. It's one of those things that it's never left my conscious mind, really, or at least my subconscious mind. And I could have told you most of the plot points about it. So let's go ahead and jump into the episodes we watched for today's show. The very first episode, highest rated episode, and finally a random chosen episode. Order may vary depending on how these episodes fall chronologically. But of course, we have to start with the very first episode, which was Deedeemensional, Season 1, Episode 1A. And like I said, these are, for the most part, 3-parters. This was the first part of the first episode. In this one, when Dexter becomes a victim of his own inventions, Dee Dee goes back in time by 1 hour to warn Dexter's past self about the invention's consequences. But the past Dexter proved hard to convince until he sees 2 Dee Dees.
I like this. This was a really good intro episode. It kind of shows you right off the bat too that most of the show probably is not going to be sequential. Like, it doesn't matter what episode you watch. It doesn't matter the order. There's no continuity. It's like a classic cartoon where each episode's just kind of its own thing. And this was a great story.
It shows you right away kind of what you're getting yourself into. And even jumping into this one, I immediately started thinking of Powerpuff Girl monsters even though this
Yeah.
was pre-Powerpuff Girls, it's like you get this giant multi-eyed tentacle monster that comes out of this interdimensional portal that Dexter had set up. And the thing was, like, he's literally about to be eaten by this, and he has to give Dee Dee a message to give to his past self to tell him not to turn on this machine. We immediately get to see the relationship between Dee Dee and Dexter. So, like you said, it is a good opening episode. She annoys him constantly, and he just wants to be left alone. So even in trying to give him this message from his past self, like, first of all, he doesn't believe her. He doesn't want to be bothered by her. And it eventually ends up leading to sort of a time loop type thing where he, at least this one time, it repeats itself, which is what leads to the two Dee Dees having to go and give the message to him.
I like when he's first trying to write the message. So he's like being pulled by a tentacle towards the monster, and he's just doing everything he can to like scramble and write this note real quick, and his pencil breaks. Then he's like, and then he's like, then scrambling to the pencil sharpener to sharpen the pencil, then finishes writing the note. And I just thought that was just such a ridiculous but funny gag to throw in there. I was a big fan of that one.
There is some like slapstick humor, but a lot of it's more tied to like the Puppet Pal stuff, like just to make fun of that type of humor. This, it's like, it's an intelligent humor that it has to it where it's enough to make a kid laugh, like, oh, he's getting dragged by a tentacle, blah, blah, blah. But then it has that thing where, it pauses the action to get up, go sharpen his pencil, and then continue getting dragged. And that's kind of like, that's funny to kids and adults. It's something you can appreciate at any age, I think.
This is one of those shows where they do a great job of using jokes that, for the most part, get funnier as you get older. The way in which you can understand the context of the joke is a lot more digestible as an adult, whereas a kid, it's just kind of like, goofy things are happening and it's silly and you're like, haha. And then as an adult, you're like, wow, I can unpack this and just see how ridiculously great this is.
Yeah, exactly. That's a really good way to put it, unpacking it, because it's almost like you're getting this amazing gift, but even the wrapping is so great that it in and of itself is satisfactory, but then you open it up and there's more inside.
That's what I like too, like that it's this really subtle thing where the two Dee Dees are outside for the first time and you see a little bird sitting outside this window and Dexter can only see the bird, and the bird's just like sees these two Dee Dees and is like rubbing its eyes like, what the? And then the next scene where you see the two Dee Dees and Dexter comes out there, the bird is dead because it died from seeing the two Dee Dees, and I just thought that was hilarious.
It just like died of shock or something, yeah. On another level that these are funny to both kids and adults is there's so much like spoofing packed into it. Like there's a lot of references to other shows, other cartoons. Yeah, there's constant spoofing going on where it's like you can appreciate it as it is, but it's even funnier if you know the source material.
Absolutely. So in this, Dexter then realizes, because he had kind of brushed Dee Dee off, and he realizes, oh, there's two Dee Dees here. That means, one of them did come back in time. This message must actually be important, because there's no way otherwise I would send her back in time. And he's like, okay, I want your message. But like the Dee Dees are angry at him for blowing the first Dee Dee off. And the second Dee Dee, of course, is taking the other Dee Dee's side. They're like, okay, we'll give you the message, but you got to do something for us. Dee Dee is always dancing everywhere, like kind of ballerina dancing. Mm-hmm. And she has like the most extreme ADHD of any cartoon character ever, I think. So they basically make him participate in a ballet for them. In doing so, they're kind of like beating him with like fairy wands and stuff.
Yeah, that was an interesting way to extend the episode, because I was wondering how after there were two Dee Dees, they were like how it wouldn't just end right there. And so that was just a funny way for them to like stretch it out a little bit. I guess even a funny way for two Dee Dees to interact. Like the one thing they want from him is just to perform a ballet with them. Yeah.
And then he goes and starts kind of bragging about his newest invention, which is this portal. And he opens it again, and the monster comes through again. Yeah. So now he's doing the note again, and now he's going to send both Dee Dees back in time. Again, you just kind of wonder, is this going to be like an infinite time loop thing? Is there going to be an infinite amount of Dee Dees, or will 2 get the job done?
And this is all wrapped into, what are they, like 7 or 8 minutes long a piece? So
yes,
that's a ton of great content in just these small segments. That's why I love when they can pack a lot into the small segments. I love when they can tell a good story in a short amount of time like that. And for the second one we watched for today's show, The Justice Friends TV Super Pals, Season 1, Episode 7B, which was my pick. And in this one, with only one television in their apartment, Major Glory, Krunk, and Valhallen cannot decide what to watch. Major Glory's televised capture of the disgruntled postman, TV Puppet Pals, or the monster truck pool.
Real quick, too, I just want to mention, so it's not following the Dexter part of the show. So like a lot of the Cartoon Network cartoons, there are other groups that are part of the Dexter's Laboratory show. So we've got Justice Friends, you've got Dial M for Monkey. I think there's at least one other one. You've got these multiple little worlds in this same show, and every once in a while they'll cross over into each other. Like obviously Dexter and Monkey cross over a lot more because Monkey lives in Dexter's lab. Dexter doesn't really come into play with Justice Friends very often, except for the next episode.
But they are all tied to the same universe. So
Yes.
it's kind of cool, but it's an anthology type where you're seeing different segments happen in the same universe at least. You see right away, like the disgruntled postman is basically the Joker in a postman's outfit.
It looks like a cross between the Batman the Animated Series Joker with the Batman Brave and the Bold Joker. Like if you combine those two and put him in a postman outfit, that's him.
Yeah.
It's great.
Like, it's not even like that we're exaggerating that he looks like him. Like, it might as well have been the Joker in a postman outfit. Like, that's what I thought they were going to play off of. I didn't know it was just going to be the disgruntled postman. Like, I thought it was going to be more on the lines of the joke stuff. But that is the first villain we see Major Glory, like, save the day from. And then he makes this terrible joke after the news people are interviewing him. And what the funniest part about it is that he found it so funny that literally he's going home to catch the news so that he can see himself telling that joke again.
Yeah, I love that. And what's great too is like the disgruntled postman's threat he posed was that he was going to mail a bomb to the president. And it wasn't like, in a little package. It was literally a giant bomb that he was going to mail. Yeah. Disgruntled postman throws a few like letters, like somehow the Joker has those, sometimes he has those sharp playing cards. Mm-hmm. It like slices his face.
Yeah, that's right. So let me just say, like, all the characters. Major Glory is like the all-American superhero. So he's a cross between like Superman, Captain America, what have you. Valhallen is a cross between the Norse Valhalla and then Van Halen, the rock group. So he is kind of a rocking Thor.
I like when he refers to his axe, but he means his electric guitar.
Yeah, exactly. And then the Infraggable Krunk is obviously based off the Incredible Hulk. And he's literally just the Hulk's colors reversed. So he's purple with green pants instead of green with purple pants.
He's basically a child.
I don't know if he can uncrunk out or whatever.
I don't think so.
I don't think he can. But yeah, he's basically just a big kid. And his favorite TV show is Puppet Pals, which is what he's going to watch.
When we first see Krunk, he's trying to rescue a kitty from a tree. And he's like throwing stuff at the tree to try to knock the kitty out. And then finally he picks up an entire car and throws the car at the kitty. And the kitty's like, ah!
I like when he's picking it, like the little girl's like, Krunk, save my kitty. And so he picks her up by the throat and she's like, that's okay. Kitty can live in the tree.
And Krunk gets sad and starts crying.
And then I think he's like starts hitting the ground or something, and that just knocks the kitty off onto his head. And he's like, yay, kitty. Valhallen, he is saving these girls from this Minotaur. What's funny is like he rescues them by just being as famous as he is, because the Minotaur is like starstruck by him and calls him the Viking god of rock. And he's like trying to get his signature and stuff. And he's got to go watch something at 5:30. He wants to go watch a monster truck pull. And so he's like, oh, well, I got to go. Like, I can't finish this up. And he's like, but you let those girls go, okay? And he's like, okay. Like, just based off his stardom. So it's funny, like they're all facing these different adversaries, if you want to call the cat in the tree the adversary too. But the actual like plot of this little episode is that they all need to get home and watch something on TV at 5:30. It turns into a battle of, and this is what a lot of it turns into. Like, it's a superhero show, but a lot of it turns into battles with the regular life as roommates. And so that's what the funny part of it. It's almost like it plays it like it is a reality show because there's even a laugh track to it at times. So this segment's just so great. Like you said, it repeats for a while. I think like the first part of Dexter's Lab is Dial M for Monkey, and then it turns into Super Pals for a while after that.
You know, I like Dexter's Laboratory and stuff, but the next episode that we watch, there's a huge payoff with all of these other smaller shows within one. I loved it. It may have been one of the best cartoon episodes I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah. But to wrap this one up, Krunk ends up sort of winning the day. They're fighting over who gets to watch TV, and then I think Valhallen's axe, his guitar gets thrown into the TV and like bust it. And so Krunk's really upset, and you don't want to obviously like Hulk make Krunk angry. What ends up happening, and what's actually really funny is like, since Major Glory is played by Rob Paulson and Valhallen's played by Tom Kenny, and so are the Puppet Pals, like they end up having to play for Krunk, like act out a Puppet Pal scene with a little wiffle bat and everything. It's just good because both the voice actors are the ones who play the Puppet Pals anyway.
Yeah, you know, I didn't think about that until you mentioned that they voiced the Puppet Pals earlier, and then I was like, okay, that makes sense now, because they do that little gimmick or that little gag towards the end. So yeah, that's good.
And all the Puppet Pal stuff, just real quick, it basically is just whatever kind of joke, one of them talking to the other and leading up to a joke that has bonk at the end of it, and it's one of them hitting the other with the wiffle bat. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
So the last episode we watched for today's show was Last But Not Beast, Season 2, Episode 39. And this was the highest rated. And also, what's funny about this, just real quick leading into it, is it was supposed to be the last episode of the series, which is why it's a play on
that makes sense.
Of Last But Not Least. And like they thought that this was going to be it. And it basically was it for a while. Like they had a movie, like a TV movie come out shortly after that. But then like the series was over until I think 2001, because this ended in 98, I believe. And 99, the movie came out, the TV movie came out. And then 2001 is when they kind of reinstated it. Cartoon Network bought the next season of 13 episodes, season 3. This is why it did have everything wrapped into it, like you were saying earlier, is because it was going to be the ultimate last episode.
Yeah, they absolutely they pulled out all the stops with this one. I mean, they just went for it. And there's so many hilarious gags and homages and so many like spoofs in this of, God, I don't even know if we even got all the references, but I hope so, because they're great.
Dexter and Toshi have exchanged kind of families for a foreign exchange student program. Toshi is a Japanese student who is in America, and then Dexter is spending time with Toshi's family in Japan. And we're seeing them both getting ready for school and everything. And I like when Dexter's going to school, it's his first day of Japanese school, and he's saying like, I've got to make a good impression, especially with the faculty. And it shows his nose all brown, like brown nosing.
I didn't catch that. That's pretty good. I love that. Like when he's in Japan, like everyone's drawn really anime, especially all the women are drawn with the anime eyes and hair and stuff. And
oh yeah,
like the teacher's got bright pink hair and the huge eyes, and they're like sky blue colored, and she has the little lines on her cheeks, like almost like cat whiskers or something. And that's just awesome. They do this gag of Dexter and these other two kids just one-upping each other. And every time I cracked up, especially like when those two kids, like they would give each other that look before they one-up Dexter. So like they're playing with these toys, and Dexter's like, oh, so you build models. And he's like, I do too. And Dexter whips out this exosuit. But then the other kids, they give that look to each other, that like knowing like he has no idea kind of look. And then they both pull out mechs. So there's like, then he pulls out a bigger one. And in the meantime, like every time they pull one out, like they start destroying stuff around town. Like they're destroying all the buildings and stuff. And it just keeps going back and forth with bigger robots and more destruction and all kinds of stuff.
It just turns into like a Power Ranger Voltron thing, and even Transformers to some degree, because one of the kids, like, first his is a motorcycle, then it turns into a robot, and his bigger one is a jet, then turns into a different robot. And so it's awesome seeing all these like little references in there that you don't necessarily have to get to appreciate, but you appreciate it more if you do. What ends up happening is like the teacher comes out, or one of the teachers comes out, and she's like, you know, shame on you, naughty boys. And then she brings her mech out.
And it's like 5 times as big as theirs.
Yeah.
And it just like it destroys the school too, because she pops through the roof.
At this point, Dexter's has turned into like some kind of Pez missile launcher. Like he literally calls it a Pez mode or something. Those missiles then launch into this volcano. I think Mount Fuji.
Well, it's Mount Fuji Yashiyama.
That's what it was, yeah. And this apparently awakens this ancient beast, which is very much on par with any kaiju movie that you've ever seen. It's this giant, like, axe-faced kaiju monster.
I'm pretty sure I saw him in Pacific Rim.
Yeah, he looks very similar to those guys, or even things from Gamera or Godzilla even. So, yeah, it was really awesome to see that come out. And that's kind of what sets off the rest of the episode, is trying to combat this thing.
Dexter just kind of pieced out. He's just like, well... He gets in his like a jet and he leaves, but he goes back to his lab because he's trying to create something to destroy it. But what's awesome is that means like they bring out like all the other characters that we've run into throughout like the series. So first we get Agent Honeydew, who is part of like a British version of S.H.I.E.L.D., I guess, if you're thinking about like the Marvel universe.
Basically, if you had watched any of the Dial M for Monkey, she's Monkey's primary contact, essentially, who calls Monkey into like save the day. And it's got that great music anytime Monkey is summoned. For Monkey, the Justice Friends come in to try to help too.
Yeah, so the commander that runs this agency sends the Justice Friends in, which are... the same as before, Major Glory, Krunk, and Valhallan. But then they added some new ones, and these are great. I think these are even funnier than the other ones.
Living Bullet, who is basically like Iron Man, except he's just like a guy launched out of almost like the guy from The Tick, who might have been Human Bullet also. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, he's like shaped like a bullet, basically.
Shaped like a bullet, yeah. You got Tiki Torch, who's the Human Torch, except he's literally like a tiki mask on, but lights himself on fire.
Well, it's like, yeah, his whole body looks like a tiki or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just lights himself on fire.
Sam R.I., who... He's just a samurai dude, kind of like Silver Samurai, I guess. Yep. And then Capital G was my favorite because he's just he's almost like Luke Cage. He's just this like dude from Harlem who his power is growing really big. Like he's basically like Giant Man. Kind of a mix between Giant Man and Luke Cage. But I love that his name was Capital G. Like, that's just such a clever name.
There was also White Tiger. I have a description. I found a website that lays out each one of the Justice Friends in a little description, and even their counterpart, like who they're based off of. But White Tiger, who has cat-like powers, he can't speak English. Instead, he speaks in cat noises. Which is true, because like the others will talk and you just hear, Rawr.
Nice.
Some of the other ones we didn't see this episode, I just wanted to mention just because they're fun. There's Fantone, who is a ghost man that goes through everyone and everything, and no one can actually touch him. There's Ratman, which is basically Batman, but a rat, and he drives the Ratmobile. You got Misspell, which is a sorceress woman. Snowman, who has ice and snow powers, but it says he's lazy and usually doesn't use them. Monkey eventually joins the Justice Friends. And then you've also got Fat Boy, who is Major Glory's sidekick, along with another sidekick named the Declaration of Independence.
Nice.
There's two more that never get names, but one is basically a play off of Green Arrow, and another one's a play off of Beast from X-Men.
See, I want to just go back and watch all the Justice Friends episodes.
Like, I do too,
sequentially, and see all these characters.
And they have tons of villains too. Like I think there's more villains than there are actual Justice Friends, which makes it even more fun. So
that's awesome. Yeah.
Oh, Silver Spooner is listed as one of them too.
Really? Okay, then maybe he'll be in one of those episodes so we can actually see him.
Okay, I'm seeing the picture of him, and oh my goodness.
Wow. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Do you see the picture with his, like the way he's doing his wrist and everything?
Yep. Oh,
Yep.
yeah. Oh, boy.
Yeah, so I see what they did wrong there.
Okay, so yeah, Justice Friends come in, and they don't stand a chance against this monster, honestly. They get taken out pretty quickly. I love, like, a living bullet is just like, pew, 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 like constantly hitting the back of the monster, and it's just making that bullet ricochet noise the whole time. I think the two best was Tiki Torch, like, jumps under the monster's foot and just lights himself on fire. But the monster just, like, spits on him and puts him out.
Oh, yeah.
And then Valhallen shows up. All these fangirls like go crazy and like tackle him, and that's how he gets taken out.
Oh, yeah. That's right. His popularity gets the best of him.
The rest of the team gets taken out because Krunk, who's super strong, throws the monster in the air, and you're just like, oh, well, that works. But then the monster comes back down, just lands on all of them, and like crushes them all.
They get crushed, and then, they're like, well, that's the fall of the Justice Friends.
Yeah. Then that commander comes out, and it turns out he's just a TV.
Oh, and then the monster just turns him off, and that's...
Yeah. The monster doesn't have to do anything except hit the power button.
Yeah.
Turns him off. So then Honeydew wakes up, calls in Monkey. Doesn't work. Monkey gets taken out. So we finally get back to Dexter, and he's just like, okay, well, there's only one way to do this. So he shows his parents the lab, which I was like, wow, I don't remember that. That's a big thing for the world of this cartoon.
Well, yeah, and that's why it's supposed to be the last episode, too.
He had arranged a series of 4 robots that can come together like Power Rangers or Voltron style, but he needs 4 pilots. So he's got him, DD, mom, and dad. So they're doing like the, wasn't there what was it? Bionic 6 was like that family one that we watched.
Yeah, like the whole family thing, right?
Yeah, so they're doing that kind of thing. They each have their own vehicle. There's like a boat, a helicopter, a car, desert speeder kind of thing. I don't know. But anyway,
yeah.
They get over there, they form a giant robot, and then they have an argument over who gets to control what part of the robot, which was pretty funny.
Oh, yeah, because the robot's going crazy when they're all in the spots that Dexter had wanted them to be in the first place. So they end up moving around to where Dee Dee becomes the feet since she's the dancer and everything, and then mom and dad are the arms. Dad gets to be the left arm so he can do his left hitch or something, his baseball pitch.
Throws a baseball with his left arm, and he talks about that a lot.
Right.
The mom, I love how the mom gets like passive aggressive.
Dad wanted to be the head at first, but Dexter's like, oh, but it's my robot. I want to be the head.
Yeah. I love how they went like with a real family kind of argument for this. I just thought that was great.
That's a good dynamic in this show in general, is just how real some of it feels with like the sibling rivalry and the family arguments and stuff. But then underneath all that, literally underneath all that in the laboratory is like all this crazy sci-fi stuff going on.
Tashi's been kind of like caged this whole time because Dexter like stuck him in a bubble in the lab. But then Tashi's like, the time's come thing, and he floats away. And it's like Tashi, of course he does. They give Tashi like these ancient, like secret ancient powers, and he's like explaining the power of love to the family, and kind of renews their vigor a little bit.
He like summons the ancient of the wind or something to send his message. Yeah.
So ridiculous. And then like we get to see Mandark. Mandark is like the big antagonist for Dexter throughout the whole series, but we didn't get to see him in any of the episodes we watched until now. Mandark comes in with this big ray gun. In typical Mandark fashion, he thinks he's defeating the monster, but instead, like, the monster's like, ooh, and starts, like, eating up this energy he's blasting at him, and it's, like, making him bigger and stronger.
And then doesn't he end up eating Mandark, too?
Yeah, he eats Mandark, yes.
Yeah. A little about Mandark. So he is... In the first 2 seasons, the original part of Dexter's Lab, like he was just kind of Dexter's adversary. Like he was also a genius kid who was a next door neighbor and just wanted to compete with them. And in the 3rd and 4th season, he became almost like a super villain to where he was literally trying to like take over the world and stuff. So whichever Mandark you're familiar with is probably the seasons that you watched at that time.
Monkey kind of wakes up from like his like, I don't know, coma or being knocked out or whatever he was in.
Yeah.
he breaks into the family's robot, and Monkey has superpowers, and he basically like gets in there and he powers the robot up, like gives it like tons and tons of energy, and so it becomes strong enough to defeat the monster by like basically just exploding through it.
Oh yeah.
The guts and limbs and everything go flying everywhere, which lets Mandark out.
Green goop everywhere, right? After that point, you're like, oh wow, so now Dexter knows that Monkey, the superhero, is literally Monkey from his lab, his pet monkey. We get that kind of fixed up with a forget ray, or forgetfulness ray or something. I don't remember if it had a name or anything, but a ray of forgetfulness. And so Dexter like first uses it on his parents so that they don't remember that he has a laboratory and stuff. Monkey grabs it and uses it on Dexter, which is how this wraps up. And then Dexter forgets Monkey is his monkey. And then he also forgets that he actually saved the day, or that they saved the day, and Mandark's taking credit for it.
That was the perfect way to end that too.
Yeah. And that would have been the end of the series. Like unofficially, that was the end of the series. Well, Chris, looks like it's about time we use the time machine to go back and get our inner kids so they can save Dexter from the interdimensional tentacle monster and, more importantly, tell us what they thought of the show, Dexter's Laboratory.
This show was so much fun. Dexter makes all these cool robots and weapons and fights monsters, but Dee Dee is stupid and just screws everything up because she's a dumb girl and she has cooties. So I gave this cartoon 5 bowls of Justice Friend cereal out of 5.
Dexter's Laboratory is a show that I really enjoyed watching, and as a nerdy, misunderstood kid myself, who also happens to have annoying siblings, I can definitely relate to Dexter's plight. This is actually one of my dad's favorite cartoons thanks to the great blend of comedy types that can appeal to both kids and adults, and something that we can have a blast watching together. Not to mention the amazing spoofs of other properties, which were always fun for both of us to spot and point out. Overall, I'd give Dexter's Laboratory 5 big bowls of Puppet Pal Bonk Bite cereal out of 5, and I recommend you give the show a go. In closing, it seems like most of Dexter's experiments are ruined by Dee Dee pressing the bright red button. Now, I'm no super genius, but it seems like he'd be a lot more successful if he made the color less appealing. Personally, I don't think I'd be as inclined to press a puke green button, or worse yet, a yellow one. Bleh, nobody likes yellow.
Hey, you know what? Actually, yellow is... Okay, yeah, yellow's probably the worst color. I don't know, maybe orange. I think orange is probably worse.
Well, I actually read something about this. Yellow is the least favorite color overall, but orange is a color that people start liking less and less the older they get, which I thought was interesting.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. I liked orange more as a kid because of Michelangelo.
I'll always love it because of Halloween, but it's something that I never really wear if I have a choice.
No, I don't think I have any orange clothing. But do you have any final thoughts on Dexter's Laboratory?
The whole time, I knew it was good. I didn't forget that, and I had faith that we would come into it and be like, okay, it was still good. I didn't know it was going to be 5-star, 4-star, whatever, but I ended up really liking it all over again. And it's something, at least I'm going to watch the Justice Friends part of it again, just to kind of breeze through those. And it's so short. It's something I could jump in and jump out of. And there is some chronology to it, but not so much where you can't just jump into an episode and enjoy it, by itself. So it's something I would show really anybody. There's something for people of all ages to appreciate. So I think that I would definitely recommend checking it out if you've never seen it, or even if you have and it's been a long time, jump back into it, and I think that you'll appreciate it all over again.
Yeah, I knew this was going to be a really fun episode for us to do. It ended up being a lot funnier than I remembered it, which is really unusual for us on this show, because we tend to see things through the nostalgia glasses, But it was fun. It's goofy. It had a bunch of great characters, especially the Justice Friends. They are definitely the standout of this show so far with the episodes that we watched. And that leads me to talk about what this show is best at, which is parody and homage. And there's so much of it, especially in that last episode we watched. I'm not sure if I even stopped laughing during that one. I mean, there were times where you even knew what joke was coming next. And even though you saw it coming, it would still make you laugh. Yeah, this is just absolutely a classic cartoon I would recommend for anyone of any age, and I would definitely keep watching this.
It is something, like you said, it was funnier now than I remember it being, but I think that it's because our humor has developed too in a different way, but you can appreciate it even from, being a kid and seeing all the bright colors and fast moving things or whatever, but now there's more to unpack, like we were talking about earlier.
Right, exactly.
So thank you, Christopher1295, for suggesting this to us. It was great jumping back into Dexter's lab.
Yeah, thanks. It was awesome. I was so happy to do this one. It's been a long time coming.
Well, listeners, looks like our milk supply is now run dry, so it's time for us to say goodbye. Next week, we'll be watching
Mutant Turtles Superman Legend. Suggested by me.
Hold on.
Uh-huh.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah, it's a real thing. A while back, you and I were talking about how it would be great to do every Ninja Turtles cartoon at some point, because me and you love Ninja Turtles. It's always been a huge part of our lives, especially when we were kids and stuff. Right. So we kept talking about all the Ninja Turtles stuff, and I found out that there was a Japanese version of the Ninja Turtles that were done. And I think it's just, I don't know if it's a movie or if it was just a short, mini series where there's only a few episodes or something like that. But it's called Mutant Turtles Superman Legend. And I saw a little trailer for it, and it is absolutely what you're hoping it's going to be. It's it's so ridiculous. It's bringing the turtles into the anime world, essentially. So, and everything that goes with it. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. I'm super looking forward to it. This was obviously not at the top of our list. So we've been trying to do the first or second Saturday of each month. We've been taking a suggestion from the bottom of the list. So that's why we're doing this one. And I am super excited because it's going to be so ridiculous.
Once again, I'm Joseph.
And I'm Chris.
We'll see you next Saturday.
Presented by Nerdsloth,
a place for lazy nerds.
If you like what you heard, consider donating at patreon.com/nerdsloth so we can continue bringing you quality shows. Be sure to also leave us a review and share your favorite episodes and clips on social media. If you're looking for more content, visit us at nerdsloth.com.